Hi, I'm Tammy. I'm founder of Career Resume Consulting, and I'm creator of the Six Figure Pro online coaching program. And today I'd like to take the opportunity to do some training for you. And what we'll be learning is really a new framework, a new way of thinking about how to look for a job that will probably serve you, and also how to write a resume that gets results. Okay? If you use this information, it's going to be very constructive in helping you find a six-figure job in a matter of weeks instead of the 18 to 24 months that it usually takes to find a six-figure position. And really, this information can be used to find any professional position and not just six figures. If you don't know me, I'll give you a little bit of background about myself. It was in 2003 that I was laid off after working for a large corporation for 10 years. I was actually laid off on my 10-year anniversary. And I spent a year being unemployed, looking for a six-figure position. And in that time, I really didn't know what I was doing. I was looking on the job boards, and I was putting my resume into a black hole. And at about 12 months, I was picked up by a recruiter, and I was able to get a position with an executive career firm. At the time, it was the largest executive career firm in the country. And I spent 5 years there being a marketing director and a senior marketing director. And then after that, I started my own company in 2008. So for the past 5 years, I've determined what it is that works and what doesn't work. And I keep honing my strategies, and I've developed a really systemized approach to finding a six-figure position, really any professional position that will get you a job in, well, my clients last year got a job, most of them got a job in 10 weeks or less, as opposed to the 18 to 24 months that it usually takes to find a position of that caliber. So hopefully this information will help you today, but I will tell you, I just kind of got to give you a warning that this information is a little bit controversial because it's pretty much 180 degrees different from what you're going to hear every other career professional say out there. And so what I want you to do if you're going to go fishing with me is use the worms that make sense to you. So if this makes sense for your situation, absolutely use it. If you don't agree with it, don't use it. But I think that even though it's different than what most career professionals use or recommend, that it has been proven very successful for my clients. And I've got to be serious with you that I think that a lot of career professionals are outdated and don't use the most up-to-date information, and by the time that their information's out there, the job market has moved on because my system has evolved over time, and I use what works and I discard what doesn't work for my clients. So let's go into the first framework. This is what I like to call job search baseball. So today we're going to learn about job search baseball because it's a different way of thinking about looking for a position. And of course, home plate is a job, and that's what we're looking for, right? And so what I want to explain to you is that from the beginning point to first base, and what is first base but a phone interview? So what is it that you want to do in the beginning of a job search? You want to get that first phone call, right? And a lot of people feel that if they get that first phone call, they're going to get a job. But you have to use specific techniques in order to get that phone call. These techniques are marketing techniques. You really want to use marketing syntax, meaning marketing phrasing. You want to use what I consider to be very persuasive words. Some people think they're a little salesy or aggressive, but it's what works. It's using marketing in your resume, your online profile, and in networking. So you want to be able to explain your expertise, articulate your expertise to anybody who's asking, what are you looking for? And explain what type of position you're looking for and what type of company you want to work for. But what you're using is marketing in order to get that first phone call. But keep in mind too that all of these, the resume, the online profile, and the networking, that's all just to get the phone call. The resume is not there to get you the job. The online profile is not there to get you the job. It's only there to get you noticed and to get that first phone call, okay? Then, once you get that phone interview, what do you want to have happen? You want to get to second base, which is the face-to-face interview. And how do you do that? You no longer use marketing. You actually use sales psychology. So you're using sales techniques in order to get to second base. And one of the most important things that you can do in using sales psychology is to ask for the sale, with the sale, in this case, being the face-to-face interview. So one of the things that you can do, instead of saying at the end of the phone interview, so what are the next steps? You say something to the effect of, you know, I really enjoyed talking with you today, and actually I'm more excited about the position now that I've learned more about it. Is there a time that we could get together in your office next week or later this week to talk about it more extensively? In other words, ask for the sale, because they may want to talk with you, but they don't pull the trigger, and then business happens and they forget about it and they go on with their lives and it doesn't happen. So you want to set a clear future by the end of the phone call so that you've got a date and time that you're going to be meeting them face to face. All right? And in the face-to-face interview, you're going to be using sales psychology again. And what do you want to have happen? You want the offer. Now, most people think that the offer means you've got the job, but that's not actually the case. You're using sales psychology in the face-to-face interview in order to get that offer, in order to make sure that you are the person that they want to hire. You do that in the face-to-face interview, because remember, phone interview is only there to get you a face-to-face interview. The face-to-face interview seals the deal for the offer. And once you get the offer, you actually have to use negotiating techniques in order to get the job. You don't actually get your butt in the seat until you've negotiated a deal that is right for you. So this is what I consider to be job search baseball. What you have to remember is that this is a step-by-step process. This is not, none of this will get you a job. A phone interview won't get you a job or even an offer. A phone interview, if it's done successfully, will get you a face-to-face interview, and the face-to-face interview gets you the offer. You're using marketing techniques in order to get that first phone call. Then you're using sales techniques to get to that face-to-face interview. The face-to-face interview, you use sales techniques to get to the offer and make you the wanted person, the expert, the answer to their prayers, the answer to their problems. You want to make sure that you build your value to whatever challenges they have. And then the offer, you start negotiating, and it's really important that you negotiate even in this economic environment. It's negotiating that will actually get you the job. So I wanted to go through this job search baseball to really give you a new framework of thinking about how job searching goes, okay? And we'll talk in more detail about the marketing and the resume right now. So, below this video, we've got a sample resume, but what I want to do is go through the resume to show you exactly why I put things where I do and how to do it for yourself, okay? Now, this is a functional resume, and it's a little out of, this usually is longer, so I kind of ran out of room, but basically, a functional resume is a skills-based resume that's usually one page. And if you're an architect or an engineer, you're gonna go, what? Or even IT, you're gonna go, what? And there's no reason to have a 4, 5, 6, 7 page resume out there anymore, because you really have 6 seconds of somebody's attention in HR or recruiting or a decision maker before they decide to put you in the no pile or they decide to read on. So you really have to get their attention in the first 6 seconds. So let's talk about the different components of a one-page skills-based functional resume. This is really focused on what you can bring to the position that you're looking for that is different than anybody else. In other words, it's your unique selling proposition. It's your combination of experience and skills and achievements and education that nobody else has. Nobody has your combination. So that's what you've got to figure out in this one-page resume, because you have to consider this to be a marketing document and not just a document that shows where you've been and everything that you've done. I'm not a big fan of putting a lot of job descriptors in the resume. I'm a fan of putting your achievements and your skills, what you bring to the position that nobody else brings. That's what you have to think about when you put together a resume. So let's go through these different components. First thing, of course, you want your name and your contact information. The contact information that I like to put up there is your address and your cell phone number or an office phone number, and then your email address. But as far as a LinkedIn profile, I like to put that on a job-seeking business card and attach the business card to a hard copy of your resume and send it that way. And the next thing that you want to put in there is a job title. This I usually do in 18-point font, very big, so that somebody knows very quickly what you're looking for and at what level you feel qualified for. So as far as job title goes, it could be sales director, could be VP of operations, vice president of operations, could be financial analyst. You want to put the level that you're looking and not just sales professional or operations professional. You really want to put the level so that people understand what level you're looking for. That's really important. Most people don't put a job title up top, I've found, and that can be really detrimental, because even if you're applying for something online, if you're sending this, it may be sent to somebody else, and the next person who looks at it won't know what you're looking for, especially if you've got a history, a career history that is different, different places, different job titles, and so they don't really know. They have to guess to connect the dots between what you've done in the past and what you can do for them in the future. So don't let them guess. State in no uncertain terms what it is that you're looking for and at what level. Underneath that, I like to put a couple of lines of experience factors. So I've got up here vendor management, cost control, revenue development, AP, AR, whatever it is that you're looking for, but make it relevant to the job title that you're looking for, okay? And make these are considered to be hard skills. And so they're things that you have done or responsibilities that you have had, and you can put them up here in a horizontal bullet point fashion. And I like to put just a couple of lines. I don't like to put more than 6 or 8 of these, maybe 9, but you don't want to overwhelm them with half a page of skills bullet pointed, because that's too much. Also know that these should be things that set you apart and aren't just a given. For instance, if you're looking for an operational position, don't put operations in here, because that's just a gimme that you're going to be skilled in operations. So put things that set you apart, make you different, and think about what are the skills or experience factors that you have that are a 9 or 10 out of 10. So think about it that way. And then I like to have a summary paragraph, and I like for you to put that in first person. Now, why first person? Nobody does that. Everybody does resume speak. So let's talk about that for a moment. First person allows the reader to read more quickly and to really understand it and digest it more. And if you did it in resume speak, which is kind of not even third person, it's just incomplete sentences like most people do. I don't like that because it makes a person have to read slower and they don't understand it as well. This flows really nicely. So take a look at the resume down below this video as an example and look at the first person paragraph. You'll notice that in that paragraph I've got exactly what makes that person different and what sets them apart from everyone else. Why they are uniquely qualified because of their skills, because of their experience, because of their education, why they are uniquely qualified for that position that they're looking for more than anybody else. So this has to be very relevant, but it has to show, it has to connect the dots for the employer, so, or the recruiter or the decision maker, because they want to know very quickly what makes you special. So just to summarize, this really gives you a very quick idea or a synopsis as to what makes you different. That's the defining statement right here. Something else too, since it's written in first person, it can substitute as a cover letter, so you don't need a cover letter because you've got everything written in first person there. Then underneath that, I like to put 3 core strengths. I put these in 12-point font and bold, and those are something that I come up with after figuring out what their accomplishments are as far as writing this for my clients. And these are going to be what's relevant to the position you're looking for, but they're going to be 3 buckets that all of your experience or all of your achievements can fall into. And when I talk about experience, I'm talking about specific measurable achievements with a quantifiable result that you can put under selected accomplishments. But you want to put them in 3 different buckets. So that's what these 3 buckets are your 3 core strengths, and you can see that underneath this video as an example. And then underneath the 3 core strengths, I like to put a 3-lined paragraph that has soft skills. That could be, for instance, like an open communicator, an analytical thinker. It could be strong executive presence. It could be relationship builder, strong relationship builder. And so I like to put 3 lines of key strengths or key skills. So these skills will actually serve, these are words that you can use as keywords like meta tags in a search engine, where it's actually something that you might take from a job description or things that you want to make sure you communicate that give the reader a sense of who you are and what your strengths are. It's another area to put those strengths, and you can see that again on the sample resume underneath. And then I like to put the education in the middle, right here, right above selected accomplishments. I think that's really important, not to put the education at the very bottom, because a lot of people have very expensive MBAs or some certifications you could put right here. And you don't want to put those at the bottom, you want to have those in the middle of the page. And actually, if you look at the one that I've got as a sample, it's right in the middle of the page. And underneath that, we've got selected accomplishments. Those are your 3 core strengths right here, and they're all of your accomplishments. And it's how you separate out those accomplishments in a functional way so that it is a skills-based resume and not chronological. The cool thing about having all of the accomplishments in a functional manner is that you can put things that you've done 15 years ago, 17 years ago, right next to something that you did last year. So that's a really nice advantage, because you can put the most impressive things that you've done, even if they've been a long time ago, up in the front and up at the top. And then at the bottom, almost like a footnote, you've got the job title, the company you worked for, city, state, and the years worked. Not the months, just the years. So this shows a career summary for the last 10, 12, maybe 15 years. I like to go back to about the year 2000 or maybe 1998. If you have any experience that's relevant, that's before that, what I recommend is you just say earlier experience includes, and then you put the job title and the company name, but not the city or state and not the years. And that way, the reader doesn't know how old or how young you are. And really, anything from 10 to 15 years is about the sweet spot for a mid to senior level position. So that's what you want to show. And so this gives you, overall, this is how you put together a functional resume. And I hope that served you today. I think that that's going to be, if you do a functional resume this way, the payoff for you is going to be more lucrative job because you're seen as an expert. You can put your expertise here instead of just where you've been and what you've done. And it also means that it's the people that are attracted to this are those people that are looking for the skills and the qualities that you possess. So they're not trying to connect the dots, they're actually looking at your strengths, and if they're attracted to that, then they're going to contact you, which means that the job that they have available for you is going to be a good fit. So that's really the biggest payoff, is having a job that's a good fit, because you've defined what your strengths are and you've defined your achievements, you've quantified those achievements. That's a really big piece of this, because people like numbers. People just in general are very attracted to numbers, and you'll find that in the example down below that I've bolded those numbers, and that's really important, that you've got a lot of quantifiable achievements. And some of the ways that you can quantify those achievements is to ask yourself, what are you most proud of? Think about the specific times that you've done something that you're really proud of. Put those down, the specific stories, and you can put them in a format of setting up the situation, explaining the action that you took, the quantifiable result. Or, more simply, just the action you took and the quantifiable result. Or the quantifiable result followed by the action that you took. So again, look at the example, and that's going to help you determine how we put that together. I like to put them one right after another, not in bullet pointed form, but in paragraph form, because it's almost like a machine gun effect. It shows I did this, and I did this, and I did this, and I did this, and it's really impressive and very attractive to recruiters, employers, decision makers. Okay? So I have a challenge for you. What I would want you to do is, after watching this video, I want you to sit down and start to quantify the achievements that you're proud of in your career. What I would like for you to do is come up with maybe 8 to 10 quantifiable achievements. That's going to be a pretty good resume. If you can get 12 to 15, even better. But think back, each position in your career, what are you most proud of? And what are the things that you did that affected the bottom line of the company that you've worked for? Okay? Take that by position. How did I affect the bottom line of the company that I worked for? How did I make this job my own? How did I do it differently than anybody else? And put that down in the accomplishments section. Look at your accomplishments and determine in what buckets do they fit into. How do you define yourself? How do you set yourself apart from everybody else? And put that here in the 3 core strengths, okay? So I have a challenge for you. Put together a resume, get it out there, proactively send it to companies that you would want to work for, and you determine if those companies are in the industries that you're interested in, the size company that you want to work for, and the geographic location. And start proactively sending to people that you find in LinkedIn the resume that you've put together. Start passing it around to friends, family, and get it out there, circulate it. And you'll find that you'll get a lot better response than just applying to the job boards with the chronological resume, just like everybody else's, okay? Next time, we're going to, in my next video, I'd like to talk about some myths that are in the job market circulating and how to bust those myths. And also I'd like to show a different way of looking for a job. So in the next few days you're going to get a video that's going to explain those things for you. And also I'd like to invite you to put your comments or questions below, and I'd be happy to answer as many questions as I possibly can and answer any comments that you have. I hope that this has really served you today. And I want to leave you with something that I really feel is important, and that is, think of success as being able to enjoy what you do, be paid what you're worth, and still have time for what's important. So thank you very much. I'm Tammy Cabell from Career Resume Consulting, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks.